Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Benjamin Youngwolf, back with another video. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach Komlak Yahushai, Yahweh who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters out there, right? Shabbat Shalom, right? Most I want y'all in the spirit, right? Keeping the Sabbath day holy, right? And do what you gotta do, gathering, right, praying, and do all that you gotta do to magnify the name of the Lord in these last days. Right, it's gonna be a quick video for the spirit, right? All praise to Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushai for letting us send another Sabbath day, right, in the land of the living, right? All praise to Yahweh for the breath of life, right? So there's gonna be a quick video for the spirit, enduring, don't fall or give up, right? Enduring or endurance, right? Don't fall or give up, right? We cannot give up in this truth, right? Especially what's going on in this world, right? Throughout the world, you got wars, you got famine coming up, you got a lot of prophecies happening, right? But if brothers not watching, what you're not gonna be aware of these things, right? That means you're sleeping, right? You gotta be aware of what's going on throughout the world, right? And link it up with the scriptures, right? So first, let's go to the book, Salakia. Let's go to the book, Salakia. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 31, right? Salakia. Right, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 31, and it reads this: But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Right? So we gotta wait upon the Yahweh Bashin Yahushai, right? When it's all said and done. But what? We it says that, I'm gonna read it again. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That's what we're supposed to be doing in this truth, right? Right? Don't be weary, right? We have to continue to walk in this truth. Don't faint, right? Continue to keep the faith, right? Continue to keep the laws and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Continue to go on the highways and byways. Continue to gather with your brothers and sisters, right? In righteousness, right? Celebrating righteousness, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing in these last days. Right? We're not supposed to be looking back on what we used to do in the world, right? Smoking weed, right? Going to the club on the Sabbath day, right? Not wearing fringes, right? Wearing your pants all the way at the bottom, right? All these things, right? All these things committing adultery, right? Hating your brother in your heart, right? All these things we used to do, we can't be looking back on this stuff we used to do in the world. We gotta continue to focus on the prize, which is serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And to get to make it into the kingdom, right? That's what we're supposed to be focused on in these last days, right? Let me read that again. But they shall wait upon the Lord, shall renew. The strength shall mount up with eagles, as slacking with wings as eagles. They shall run and not weary. They shall walk and not faint. Right? We can't be fainting in this truth, right? This is not the time to be falling out of this truth, right? This is the time you should be praying more, fasting more, right? Congregating with brothers more, right? Going on the highways and byways, right? Doing all that you could do to the best of your ability to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in these last days, right? Because what? You cannot be worrying about what the worldly people are saying, right? Your family won't save you, right? Your worldly families won't save you. Your worldly mother, your father, your sister, your cousin, your nephew, whoever it is. Because at the end of the day, every man has to work out their own salvation, right? Every man has to work out their own salvation, right? You gotta remember that, right? You gotta focus on the prize, right? Don't faint. Yes, you're gonna have temptations, right? You're gonna be put to the test, right? You're gonna go for it because what? That's what the scriptures say. If you come to serve Yahweh Bashima Mashiach Kom Lakay Shai, prepare thyself for temptation. Paraphrasing, right? right? You gotta prepare yourself for temptation, right? Because some brothers just in the truth and they don't know what it comes with, right? They're just in the truth and like just to be in it. You gotta read and understand what you gotta go through, right? What to expect, right? Because when things like that happens to you, you're not supposed to be surprised, right? Because it's what is written in the scripture. The Most High said that, right? But that is test. But you cannot let that make you faint, right? You cannot choose the worldly people over Yahweh Shem Shai because what? It won't be a good ending for you, right? Because remember, the Most High, He could destroy your body and your soul, right? But so what? We got to continue to serve Yahweh Shem Mashiach come like in His last days, right? Praying, fasting, keeping the Sabbath day holy, right? Right, that's what you're supposed to be doing these last days. Checking on one another, giving arms, right? Congregating with your brothers and sisters, right? Loving your brothers and sisters, right? Helping your brothers and sisters no matter in any situation that you can, no matter how you can. Praying for your brothers and sisters, right? Even checking up on them, give them a call, give them a text, all that you could do, right? To magnify the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Because well, we gotta be the light in this world, right? We gotta be that light because this in this world, this society is full of wickedness, darkness, right? Evil, wickedness, folly, madness, right? So we gotta be the one, right, to be the light, to shine, right? We cannot faint. We gotta endure to the end. We cannot faint. We gotta keep walking, right? Keep running until because it's not how you started, it's how you finish that race, right? So you got also gotta ask the Most High, right? Pray that the Most High take not the Holy Spirit from you, right? Pray if you pray for more faith, for more trust in the Most High. All these things that we lack, and we gotta do the best of our ability to get better, man. Because what this truth, last time I checked, this truth, there's always things that we gotta work on, right? We in this flesh, we go off every day, right? But there's still work to do. Just we gotta continue to examine ourselves, see where we're going off, what can I do better, right? For the nation of Israel, right? For our people, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, men, women, and children, right? And magnifying the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? Ask the Lord for more mercy, right? For forgiveness. Just pray for that. Pray that the Most High blot out all away your sins, right? Because what? We fall short. We in this flesh, right? We fall short, but we cannot give up. That's the whole point. We cannot give up. No matter what worldly people say, put that on the side. Continue to walk. Because what? The most when all hell breaks loose, when the day of judgment comes, the Most High is going to ask you, what have you done? Right? You can't say, "Oh, my because my mom had me do that," right? Because of my grandma. No, you're gonna get destroyed straight up, right? You're gonna get destroyed. Let's get another precept for the spirit, right? Let's get a classic, Matthew chapter 20, 24 and 13, right? This is the book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, right? He that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. That's plain upon tables. Slack, wait for me 1 second. Okay. Right? Let me read that again. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? That's plain. You gotta endure to the end. That's why I say until the end. Right? It's not how you started, it's how you finish. Right? You gotta endure. Because what? There's things that you gotta go through, right? The most I gotta put you through the test to see if you really love him, right? If you willing to give die for the truth, right? Die for your brethren, right? All these things you gotta endure to the end because what? Some of us we gonna go through these things, right? Some of us gonna get killed for the truth, but what? At the end of the day, we know what we're doing, right? We're serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and there's nothing better to do than to give up the ghost for this truth, right? To die for your Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? For your nation, right? Your love of your people, your brethren, right? All these things we got to consider, right? We got to think about these things, right? Because what we believe that in the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that at the end of the day, he's going to rise us up, and we're going to take the kingdom, we're going to rule over these nations, right? So that's why we got to continue no matter what, right? No matter what people say. I'm going to read that one more time. Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Right? Because what? You got brothers when you first found out they are Israelite, right? We get excited, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You get excited from the tribe of Judah, from the tribe of God, right? Brothers start praying, like praying every day, right? Making videos every day, fasting, right? They have that zeal, they have that fire. But some brothers, as time goes by, as years go by, and it's true, they're not the same, right? They're looking back into the world, right? They don't pray like they used to, right? Brothers used to pray 3 times a day. Now they pray once a day, one time during the day, right? Only when they wake up, brothers don't, you know what I'm saying, right? Brothers used to fast twice a week. Brothers don't. Only brothers now fasting once a week, right? These things you gotta examine yourself, right? You can't go back to the old man. You gotta fight that fight. You gotta endure, right? Don't give up, right? And that's what brothers out there that I'm talking to myself as well. That's for me as well, right? We gotta endure to the end and stay strong in the spirit in the faith, right? We gotta fight that fight, right? This is not for this is yeah, this is for as to talking to me as well, right? Because what we gotta endure to the end. We gotta do what we gotta do, right? Every man has to work out their own salvation, right? Let's get another precept for the spirit. Let's go Salakia. Let's go to the book. Salakia. Wait for 1 second. Right, Salakia. This is the book. Let's go to the book. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121. Right, 121. I'm gonna start from verse 2. Right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 121, and verse 2. My help coming from the Lord, the Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. Right, the Most High is gonna help us, man. Right, the Most High is gonna help us, but you gotta believe in that. Right, you gotta believe in that. It's not just saying it. You gotta believe it. Right, I'm gonna read that again. Psalm chapter 121, and verse 2. My help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Right, I'm gonna jump to verse 7. The Lord, the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Right? You gotta believe that too. But the only way that the Lord's gonna protect you from evil, you gotta obey His commandments. Right? The laws and commandments of Yahweh Shai. Right? Not giving up. Right? Right? Continue, stand fast, 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Right? I'm getting another precept for the Spirit. Let's go to the book Galatians. Salakia. Right? Let's go to the book of Galatians, chapter 6, and verse 9. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9, and reads this: And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we not faint. What are you going to reap? Right? All the work we're doing out there, right? All the on the highways and byways, right? Making videos, praying for one another, fasting for the nation, fasting for brethren, right? Right? Praying, congregating, right? In righteousness, believing in this truth sincerely, right? Loving your brothers and sisters, right? It says, and let us not be weary in all well doing, in well doing. So like for in due season we shall reap if we not faint. If we not faint, right? You see that's the point. We cannot faint, right? We cannot faint, right? So all this righteousness we do in the Most High sees that. The Most High doesn't forget that, right? Those righteousness in sincerely, right? You believe, right? This is the truth. You believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Bashakom Lakwashai, right? You believe that the Most High is gonna save you, right? You gotta believe in this thing, man. For real, right? You gotta believe that the Most High will protect you, right? And all this righteousness you're gonna do, right? Most High when you inherit the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If we not, if you faint, if we don't faint, right? If we don't faint, which is enduring to the end, right? And again, another precept, right? If we don't faint, we cannot faint. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 91, right? The book of Psalms, chapter 91, and verse 1. I'm going to read, yeah, Psalms chapter 91 and verse 1. Ye that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Verse 2. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. I'm going to read that again from the top. Psalm chapter 91 verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the law of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Right? So we gotta trust in the Most High. Right? Because what? He's our refuge and our fortress. Right? He's gonna protect us. He's gonna deliver us. Right? He's gonna protect us from our enemies. Right? Evil. Right? Wickedness. Right? But we gotta believe. We gotta trust in Him that He's gonna do that. We gotta believe, trust in Yahweh Shah. Because if you don't have trust, like, what's the point? Right? If you don't trust in Yahweh Shah, what is the point? Right? You gotta trust in the Most High. He's gonna deliver you, protect you from your enemies. He's gonna deliver you in the day of trouble. Right? But you gotta obey His voice, which is keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Yahweh Shah. Right? Let's get another precept. Right? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 14, and verse 22. Is the book of Acts, chapter 14, and verse 22. Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that's what we got to do as brethren. Exhort one another to continue faith. Right? Because what? In the world, they're gonna push you what? Smoke weed. Right? Right? Drink until you get drunk and that you can walk no more. Right? Breaking the Sabbath day, going to the club, eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, eating pork, hating your brother in your heart, right? Holding a grudge against your brother, right? That's what the world does. Worldly people, that's what they help you do. But brothers in this truth, right, in righteousness, right, who believe in the Most High and Yahushua, right? What they want, we gotta, they're gonna exhort you to continue in the faith, and that's what we're supposed to be doing as brothers. Continue to exalt one another in the faith, right? Don't stop bringing, so you can put your brother down, right? Especially if brothers are going through something, you gotta exalt them. Like, brother, you could do it, right? You could go for it, right? Continue, pray with that brother, fast with that brother, right? Do all that you could do to exalt one another in the faith, right? And that we must not, and that we must through much tribulations enter into the kingdom of heaven, right? Because last time I checked, going to going going to church on Sundays, right? Clapping your hands, falling on the floor, that's not getting you to the kingdom of heaven, right? Straight up, straight up, it's not getting to the kingdom of heaven, right? 7 days, it's not going to get to the kingdom of heaven. Roman Catholic is not going to Islam, right? All this madness, right? And religion that the Most High never created is not going to get you into the kingdom of heaven, right? Straight up, right? But through much tribulation we shall enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Because what is not easy. It's not going to be. It's not an easy thing to get into the kingdom of heaven. You think the greatest prize in the world, right? The best thing in the world, right? From the Almighty, the Ancient of Days, the Most High, Yahweh, and why Yahweh Shai. You think it's going to be easy? It's not going to be an easy walk. It's not going to be easy. But what? You got to continue to walk and not faint, right? And with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Komnak Yahushai, right? Most I will, brothers and sisters, will edify for the Spirit, right? Shabbat Shalom, keep the Sabbath day holy, right? Pray, right? Do all that you could do, make videos, congregate your brothers and sisters, right? Go in the highways and byways, preach the word to the lordship of the house of Israel, which are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. Right? Do all that you could do to magnify the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and keep the Sabbath day holy. No buying, no selling, no sex on the Sabbath, no doing your own pleasure, right? No speaking your own words, right? Congregate with brothers, right? Read, pray, right? All that you could do to magnify the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, so that the Lord could have mercy on you, right? So that Most High way you could make it to the kingdom of the Most High, right? So Most High when brother will edify, have Most High when brothers going to have in a mighty Shabbat, right? Endure to the end, do not faint, right? Don't give up, continue to walk and don't faint, right? Brother Benjamin Young move, Most I will not be back with another video. Of course, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Shema Mashiach Kumrak Yahushai, Yahweh who the world ignorant calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorant calls Jesus Christ, right? And with that, Kum Shalom. Shalom.